in case the phone rings beside me.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, can you see my screen? All right, so basically I just want to kind of remind everybody that just remember that you are your child's first and most important teacher. When it comes to working with the teachers at school, that you have a right, you have a say, and that you need to bring your voice to the table. But remember, when it comes to having the best interests of your child, you are his first and best advocate. So just remember that at parent-teacher conferences, be present, show up, do have questions ready. If you ever have a concern, make sure you go in and you ask the teacher, you communicate with those teachers, because you know what's best for your child. And you need to make sure that you are voicing your concerns and meeting with those teachers and communicating with them. Also, these are just some things that your child will need when they enter kindergarten. I'm going to start with the social emotional skills first. They need to be able to verbalize their wants and needs. Now, some of it has to do with just not being able to communicate things, but a lot of it has to be with shyness. So it's real important that you talk to your child and make sure that you tell them they need to talk to their teacher, that they need to tell her if they need to go to the bathroom, if they're cold, if they don't feel well, if somebody else is bothering them. Make sure that they have the skills they need to talk to their teacher and to talk to the other children also. I don't like that. Please stop. Those kind of things. So you really want them to have those communication skills, the vocabulary they need to do those. That they're able to independently dress themselves, go to the bathroom, hang up their backpack, put their stuff in their backpack. So I know a lot of times as parents, it's easy just to do it for them. Let me have that and do it. Don't. Let them learn to do it. Let them learn to get their stuff together, be responsible. It'll make your life easier in the long run, and it sure makes the teacher's life easier at school. They need to know your full name. They need to know your phone number in case of an emergency. Make sure they're able to, play independently and focus on things for up to 10 minutes going into kindergarten. And that seems like a long time, but they really need to be able to sit and focus on an activity for that amount of time for kindergarten. All right, the next thing are their reading and language skills. Of course, when they leave us, we want them to know all their letters and be able to know all their sounds, but not everybody always does that. So, but they do need to at least know the letters in their name. They need to be able to handle a book correctly. They need to be able to sit, and that comes in handy at that 10-minute. Be able to take a book and look through it and then talk to you about the pictures they see for, a good 10 minutes and have that communication skills. They need to be able to identify some letters and sounds. We talked about that. Be able to rhyme words, playing rhyming games with them. I'll talk to you a little bit about that later on, about being able to playing rhyming games with them and things, way to do that, to teach rhyming. Being able to listen to a story and then tell you what goes on in the story, to maybe retell it back to you, giving you those details from it. That's a great way to build that comprehension skills in them. And being able to follow a 3-step direction. Tell them to, go to their room, put up their shoes, and, make their bed or something like that. Go to the kitchen and get this and this and bring it back to me. Those are some 3-step directions that you can practice on. Math, being able to count to 30, recognizing those numbers 0 to 20, being able to sort objects by shape, size, and quantity. Those are just some good math skills. Playing a lot of math games with them, is let them sort the silverware. They can sort, different things that you have at your house. Those are great ways, and you can have them sorted by size, by shape, however you want them to do it. Playing, adding and subtracting games are fun. If I give you 4 cookies and I eat one of them, how many cookies do you have left? Things like that. Those are really easy things that you can do and talk to them about as far as building those math skills. Fine motor, being able to write their first name, that is so important. So if they cannot write their first name, that is something you need to continue on until they can do it, because being able to write their name on their paper in kindergarten is going to be crucial. Being able to write some other letters in the alphabet that's not in their name, being able to cut with the scissors, simple shapes, being able to hold that pencil with their thumb and forefinger correctly. I'll show you a little trick on that in a few minutes about how to hold it, and then be able to use glue appropriately and markers appropriately. Now I'm just going to talk to y'all just a few minutes about if you think your child might have some type of learning disability, or if you feel that they're not learning the way you feel like they should, some things to look for. So basically, when people think of a learning disability, they really think of a child that's severely handicapped, or a child that, I mean, you can visibly see the handicapping, but there are so many different learning disabilities. I have 2 children that both have learning disabilities. One is ADD and dyslexic, and one just has a reading comprehension disability. So there are different things, and you just have to know what to look for. So basically, a learning disability describes a range of learning and thinking differences that can affect the way the brain takes in, uses, stores, and sends out information. So a learning disability can come in many forms. The students may struggle with reading. They can struggle with math. They can struggle with writing. So like one of my sons with the dyslexia also has dysgraphia, and that affects how he writes things. He cannot like copy from the board to the paper. He can't like write a paragraph. He can in his brain come up with what he wants and then writes it on a piece of paper. He can't do it. He could say it to me verbally and I could write it, and then he could copy it, but he can't process the information and write it at the same time. So that is also something to look for. And the other thing is, it totally was different when they gave him a computer. He could type, but he couldn't write. So learning disabilities just come in so many different forms. It could be ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, hearing loss, vision loss. And then you get into more severe ones, with your autism. And then autism falls in different levels too. So there are many things you need to look about and be prepared for, and ask questions. That goes back to that communication with the teacher, asking those questions. Why is my child not doing these things? Should I be concerned about this? And educating yourself on those. So there are many reasons that a child may have a learning disability. The causes aren't always known. Sometimes if a parent or a relative has ADD, then the child may have it, or same with dyslexia. Sometimes those kind of things run in families. So those are things to watch for. Other risk factors could be low birth weight, prematurity, an injury, an illness. All those things can contribute to it. It's nothing anybody did wrong or right. It's just things that happen. And you need to educate yourself and be prepared to how to handle it when it comes up. So, all right, so these are some things to look for if your child would have learning delays in language, trouble with speech, trouble learning colors, shapes, letters, and numbers, trouble with rhyming words, trouble with coordination. So like by the age of 5, they should be buttoning their own clothes, using scissors, being able to hop, short attention span. A 3 to 5-year-old child should be able to sit and listen to a short story. If they can't keep their attention for longer than a short story, then, and the problem with our age children is sometimes we cannot tell if it's going to be a problem in the future, or if they're just they just haven't developed those skills as fast as their peers. So, but I just want to give you the information so that by the end of kindergarten, if you're still seeing some of these symptoms, you need to be asking some questions. Okay. By the age, the children and teens find it difficulty to follow directions, stay organized, understand verbal directions. A lot of those are signs of your ADD and your dyslexia. Some of those fall into that, where you're spelling your words and sounds. So not being able to write clearly. So these are just some things to look at that you need to be aware of as your child continues to grow in school, so that if they're still having these problems, You've got to talk to those teachers and get more information and educate yourself, because there are things that can help. And just because if they do decide that your child has a learning disability, you not necessarily always are going to get an IEP with special education department. There's something called a 405 that you can do, and that you can 504. I said that backwards. My dyslexia is coming in. 504 that you can also do that can give them some accommodations, so different things. So there are things that can be done to help your child. And if you can get it, the earlier you can get it done, the better off you are, because you have those in place. I'll give you an example. My daughter, she has a reading comprehension problem. She just cannot read as fast and understand as fast as her typical peers. So when we realized that, I got a 504 in place, so she got extra time on her test and things like that. But where it really paid off was when she was in high school and she took her ACT. She was able to bring her ACT score up because she got extra time on her ACT. So these are just things that you keep in your back pocket to know later on in case you ever need any of this information. All right, so 4 ways you can help your children learn and think differently. Focus on their strengths, build social emotional skills, and know your resources and your supports. So if your child does have a learning disability, or if your child just doesn't learn like everyone else, these are so important that you know. And that goes back to all the things I just said. Focus on their strengths, be positive, because they all have their strengths and they all do something really well. Make sure they have the social emotional skills to deal with it. Know your resources, know where to find the help and get the help. And then plan, plan for the future, know what you're going to need for them in high school, know what you're going to need for college, because there are people to help you at every step of the way. All right, so here's some things that you can do to build literacy with your child every day. Playing name games, singing, what is this? Where is he or she going? When you go to the grocery store and you walk through it, have them look for things. Find something that starts with a G. Find something that starts with a B. Find something that rhymes with, pilk. It could be milk, things like that. Talk to your child as you go do an everyday task, when you're sorting the laundry, help me put all the black socks over here, put all the blue socks over here. Help me, do the towels, however you want to do it. You can do the towels, and the big towels, the little towels, the medium-sized towels. There's all different ways you can talk to your child as you're doing everyday things. Sing and play nursery rhymes with them. That really helps with those rhyming skills. Talk about words, how they sound alike. When you're eating at a Mexican restaurant, tomato and taco, they both start with T. Those kind of things. Writing simple notes. Kids love to write little notes, and they can copy little notes. Let them help you if they want something at the grocery, let them make their own grocery list. Let them write you little love notes, things like that. They love that kind of stuff. So they can use their writing skills, and you can also help them try to spell out the words. They can write milk, ill, sound it out for them, and they can write it as the best they can and make their own little grocery list. Those are just some fun things you can do every day at your house to build that literacy. Now, this right here came directly from the kindergarten, some things they're going to have to do in kindergarten. So I can recognize that a spoken word is made up of specific sequence of letters. So basically they are hearing those words, they know those words, they can name the upper and lowercase letters, they can recognize rhyming words, they can blend and segment words, they can find that the first sound of a CVC word is basically a consonants, vowel, consonant. I can't talk today. Consonant, vowel, consonant word. So like dog is a CVC word. Dog. So there's when they see those CVC words, that's what that is. So basically they can tell you the first sound and the ending sound to that. You may say the sound of each consonant and they can read some high frequency words. So they're going to be able to do some sight words. Those are just some things they'll be expected to do at the beginning of kindergarten. All right, here are some websites that are great. ABC Mouse, ABCia, and PBSkids.org are great websites, free websites that the kids can do. ABC Mouse, most of this have like a little free program you can do. I know if you were at ECEC, we gave you a code to get on them. ABCia is completely free. PBSkids.org is completely free. Let's see. Starfall has a free component, and I think that's all. So let me stop sharing my screen now and go back over here. All right, so I will be sending out today in their backpacks some different things, some kindergarten entrance expectations, what you can do with your child for, to help them get ready and prepare. And if you have any questions or concerns, you're always welcome to contact us here at the school, and we'll be happy to answer any of them. And thank y'all. And Amber, do you have any questions before I go?
I mean, I don't think so. We've been working on these things. So
You're still on mute.
oh, I thought I took it off. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello?
No, I still hear you. Oh, I think you, hang on. I think I turned mine off. Now try. There you go. I had turned my sound off. Yeah. So it wouldn't, my computer kept dinging because people sending me emails. So, all right. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you let us know. And I'm going to send this stuff in their backpacks today. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.